Emmalynn.
I'm Jessica.
Today we are here with our February TBR that I tried really hard not to be exactly the same as my January TBR.
Have some rollover minutes.
I feel like I read like the amount I wanted, but I just didn't read the books I had picked.
I think I picked too much.
Well, I definitely picked too much.
But you have to have options.
Last month,
yeah.
I'm saying I definitely picked too much, but it's like I just wasn't reading from the stack. I still had like 7 books or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh well. Here we are. Do we have 7?
We tried to pick... We are going to be doing a romance reading vlog, which I don't read a ton of romance books.
You did a lot last year.
Yeah. It
depends on your
emotional
well-being.
I like romance that takes place in a fantasy world more, not necessarily a romantasy, but just romance in a fantasy.
I'd say the worse my emotional well-being is, the more romance books I read usually.
Yeah. But since it is Valentine's Day month,
yes,
I will
partake.
Yeah, I'll partake. So the first book I'm hoping to finish is a carryover from last month, and that is The Snow Child by Eowyn Ivey. And right when I started reading this, I knew that I was going to love her writing, which works out really great because I have 2 of her other books. I just picked up her new book from Book of the Month, Black something Blue Sky, Black Night Blue Sky, I think. And then I have her other book that she wrote after this one, which I can't think of right now. Anyways, I knew right when I started reading this that I was going to fall in love with her writing. It's very lyrical, whimsical, and I do love this story so far. I'm 124 pages in, and it's been really easy to read and very immersive feeling. So I am excited to see how this story is wrapped up. You know?
Okay, my first book is a reread, and I feel like it's only right that I reread the series this month. And I don't know if I'll read the whole series. I at least want to read this book. Because I also just need to, like, this sounds weird, but, like, I want to use these covers. Like,
yeah,
they're just so pretty. Like, I just want to have a reading experience where the covers actually matches the book. Because I just don't feel like the other ones are too dark.
Yeah.
They look really good with the Caraval books, but this is, like, how I felt reading the books. So, yeah, after my reread of Caraval this fall, I was like, I'm remembering things, that are already tied into this story that were happening during Caraval, and I was like, I need to know what I'll pick up on, because I've never read these all consecutively.
Okay, the next book I'm going to work on finishing is a digital book. I don't know if anyone else has this happen to them, but I feel like every time I put books on hold at the library on the Libby app, like, they all come in at once, and that just happened to me. So I've already started this book. I started it last night, and that is All the Colors of the Dark by Chris Whitaker. This was, like, on a lot of people's favorite books of the year, and so it kind of got me intrigued. But it's about, it takes place during the 70s, and it's about this small town in Missouri. This little boy goes missing / gets murdered. I'm not sure which. But he basically, like, sacrifices himself for this other girl, because she's about to get either killed or taken or something, and so he is like, I don't know, he intervenes, and she gets away, and so now the town is looking for him, and there is, like, a serial killer that's been on the loose for a period of time, so they don't know if that's the culprit or what's happening. But it's basically about, like, how a small town, how this tragedy affects the small town and the people that live there, and I feel like people are going to be pit against each other, or they're either going to come together to try to, like, figure out what happened. I'm not really sure. I have not read anything else by this author, but I was just intrigued that so many people were talking about it at the beginning of the year. So I decided to pick it up.
Okay, my next book is Within Arm's Reach, and we bought this during the summer, and I never read it, and I'm not letting myself get hella beautiful until I read this one. And what initially got us both is the sentence that is bolded on the back, which is, "No one in my mother's family ever talks about anything that can be categorized as unpleasant or as having to do with emotion," which is literally the entire opposite of your family.
Yeah.
They talk about their emotions way too much in an unhealthy way. And so I'm just interested to see this story. I find anything about families.
Family sagas are very interesting, yeah.
Equally
just sad family dynamics in general.
Yeah. And just the ability to, like, still fight for someone even if you don't necessarily like them is always...
Or agree.
Yeah, is interesting to see. And the artwork is just absolutely stunning.
Mm-hmm. And I do like all of her covers.
Yeah. So, I can't wait to read it, even if it's sad.
Okay, the next book I'm going to pick up is the highly anticipated sequel to Heartless Hunter, which is Rebel Witch. Can't really say a whole lot about this other than the last book ended on a total cliffhanger, and I have already read just a couple of chapters in this, and it does pick up right where the last one left off. Well, I think maybe like a month or two has gone by, but I mean, all of the events are still fairly recent. So I feel like this is a little bigger than I thought it was going to be.
But the font is massive.
Very, very large.
Look at this.
Like, that's pretty large.
Yeah. Magnifying glass.
What?
Like, look at this.
So I feel like the thing
you can read a book of the month fast.
Yes.
But something about the shape.
Also, the chapters are very short, her chapters, and I do appreciate that, and they go back and forth between POVs. So I do feel like that makes any book go by really fast, and so I do really appreciate that. But I'm excited about this. I haven't heard really anyone say their thoughts on this yet. Have you?
I saw an ARC review that wasn't very good.
Okay, don't tell me. I haven't seen anyone talk about it yet, so I don't want to know.
Yeah, but now I want to know who it was. I can't remember.
But I have high hopes.
That's what I'm worried about.
I really loved the first one, so, and I really like her writing. Like, I remember when I finished reading Heartless Hunter, and then Emmalynn read it. You read it pretty quickly after, right? Yeah. And so I was like, what other books has she written? And so I went and picked up the first book in her other series, which is the, like, I think it's called Iskari series. It's a fantasy series as well. Haven't got to that yet, but
I want to read the Edgewood book.
Yeah.
That one looks cool.
I did really enjoy her writing.
It has a 4.46 on Goodreads.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Still less than 2,000 ratings, so I don't know. Yeah, someone rated it 3 stars. I think it was mainly the love triangle situation. I feel like it's also a carryover. I at least want to make progress in this. Something about just, I think this book is good, but the plot line just isn't as, like, I'm not as nervous about the plot line of this book as I was the first one, so I feel like less of a sense of urgency to read it compared to some other things. Like, I'm okay where things are at right now. So, we'll see. I'm on page, like, 60. So, I mean, I've made progress. I hope to finish it this month, but we'll see.
Okay, this book is one of the books I'm hoping to read in our romance blog. That is very, very Sincerely Yours by Carrie Winfrey. I've never read anything by her before, but this book, the reason I thought it sounded cute was, okay, like, the main girl works at a vintage toy shop, and she doesn't really have any prospects of having a love life, because I think she's just recently broken up with her she was dumped by her longtime boyfriend. But she kind of has this crush on this guy named Everett St. James, who is, like, a TV host of a children's show, which is giving, like, Mr. Rogers vibes. And so
Blue's
she decides to write him because he gives like advice on his show, which is also giving Mr. Rogers
this is like originally a Wattpad book. It's like
for
fan
real
fiction.
Oh,
I don't know. It sounds like fan fiction of someone.
But yeah, so they start like this written correspondence. So they
my next book is The Rose Bargain by Sasha Payton Smith, I think is her name. And this is the same author as the Witch Haven duology, which I thought the first book was kind of mid, so I didn't pick up the second one ever. But this is a whole different vibe. This is, everyone's saying anyways, Cruel Prince meets Bridgerton meets The Selection with, I've seen some people that are actually reading it say a dash of like Shadowhunter Infernal Devices vibes as far as I guess the magic. I don't really know what that means, but I'm here for it. I'm gonna go buy it tomorrow. I tried to buy it on release day and my Walmart was out of stock. Can you believe they're not being consistent? Yeah. Oh my gosh, so mean. Anyways, I really just initially wanted to read it because of that little blurb. I have not read the official synopsis. I don't want to know.
Yeah.
I don't like knowing things like that. Because then I just start coming up with like plot lines myself, I feel like, and then I get expectations. So, keep you posted on how I'm liking it, if it's worth the hype, if it's better than her last one, etc.
The cover is read for our little reading romance only vlog is Mad About You, and I'm trying to remember how to pronounce this author's name because it says it's Vari McFarlane, not Mari. Vari. She's Scottish. Anyways, this is about a girl named Harriet who is like a really highly sought after wedding photographer, and she's photographing a wedding one day, and I'm not sure, but I think something happens at the wedding and the bride either doesn't show up or like runs out on the groom or something. And so, or maybe it's, I can't remember, but Harriet and a guy at the wedding, I can't remember if it's a groomsman or the actual groom, they end up like striking up a conversation. Some roommates and friends, and then I'm guessing like a romance ensues between them. She has some hidden baggage, secrets that she doesn't want anyone to know, which is like probably preventing her from being in a long-term relationship and getting married. She doesn't really have like a high opinion of marriage. So I know Haley Pham really likes this author. I think she's read like almost all of her books, so I'm hoping that I really like her too. And it has a blurb from Emily Henry, so that has to be a good sign, right? She said she writes with a singular wit, charm, and emotional complexity. Every word just right, every page brimming with delicious tension. So, if Queen says so.
Yes.
Must be good, right?
I think this is a repeat too, and as soon as I put it on the TBR, I was like, I shouldn't have done that because it's just brimming with February. And so I immediately decided not to read it. It wasn't like I didn't have time. I was like, why did I even? Like, I lost.
Did you know you can get the old covers from Blackwell's?
How much?
Not a lot. Like the price of a paperback.
Wow.
Yeah. The OG covers.
Well, if I really like this, then I will probably do that because they're just so like
this looks like so early 2000s.
Which is like, because they say it's Gossip Girl vibes, like I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But the other ones are just so intriguing. Yeah, like, if there's anything I could ask her, I'd be like, what does all of this mean? Like,
I'm sure, maybe you know.
What do the ships mean for Daisy Hayes? Like, those, I just want to know. And so, yeah. I don't know if she ever made an indie cover for the very last book, though.
I don't even know.
I think so. Because it just came out last year, and she was traditionally published by then.
Yeah.
Anyways, British Gossip Girl. Well, that's all I need to know.
Okay, the last book I'm hoping to pick up this month is also another digital hold that came in, and that is a book that just came out in November, I think, but it's called Pictures of You by Emma Gray. This is about a woman who wakes up in the hospital. She thinks she's like still in high school, but she's actually obviously not. She's a woman, and she had been married, and her husband had just gotten in a really bad car accident, and her husband died from it. And so she's trying to figure out her life and like why she ended up making some of the decisions that she made, and I'm guessing like even possibly who she married, and like just reconciling the decisions that she made in her life, basically. But I think her friend, I don't know if he's like a high school sweetheart or a childhood friend or whatever, like he's there with her, experiencing all of this with her, and like really helping her cope with everything that she's just experienced. And so she, like, when she wakes up from the accident, she's obviously has memory loss, so that's why she's trying to like not just learn about her life, but learn about why she made the decisions that she made that brought her to that point in her life. But I think there's like even some mystery surrounding her husband, and like I don't know if there's mystery surrounding the accident as well. But I'm guessing there's like a second chance romance with this guy that's helping her now. So I've heard good things about this book. It has a lot of, like, it says it's drama, mystery, thriller, romance. Like it sounds like it's a little bit of everything.
Also, it's compared to those two.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
So I think it should be good. It has fairly good ratings, so we'll see.
Okay, my last book is The Rom-Comers by Catherine Center, and I just reread the synopsis, and I'm starting to understand why everyone likes this, and that's because it's basically beach read. Except it's screenwriters.
Oh, yeah.
And so Emma Wheeler is a romance screenwriter, and she wins the chance to rewrite a script for a famous screenwriter, and so she moves to LA for her dream writing job, and she's like, what is it they say? Don't meet your heroes. Charlie Yates doesn't want to write with anyone, much less a failed nobody screenwriter. And so he's written like a horrible romance screenwriter because he doesn't believe in romance. And so she's gonna convince him. And I guess
red hair.
Help him rewrite it. Which also, can we talk about how cute she looks and what the heck is this man's wearing? We have Converse with striped pants, a suit jacket with a zip up under it with the hood popped out, and a button up shirt under your zip up jacket.
Yeah, it's a lot of layers. He's very guarded.
She looks like it's summer, and he looks like a sim townie that just like auto-generated the weirdest outfit. I love like this cover if you just don't think about what he's wearing.
The inside is cute too.
Yes, and well, the spine and the flowers like go over, and I love the end pages and the pink sprayed edges and the bright orange.
Orange and pink is so cute.
Yes, I'm so excited to read this. I might have to wait a little bit. I need to like fill in some books after I finish Beach Read and then reading this one, or I'm just like gonna be confused.
Your last.
That's this book. I've heard so many good things about it, and I loved The Bodyguard. I thought it was really funny, but everyone said this book was like unexpectedly sad. So, we'll see.
There are a couple of other books that I would like to read, but I'm not going to be overly ambitious.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about it, so you can just be like, wow, you did bad again.
Yep. Didn't follow through. It's fine. Romance reading blog.
Soon.
And hopefully we'll make a lot of progress in that blog and get at least two of these knocked out. That's my hope. But thank you guys so much for watching. Let us know what you're reading this month, of course. If there are any new romance books we should know about, let us know, because we're always up for going to Barnes & Noble.
Yes.
Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in our next video. Bye-bye.